What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the FlashPicks Best Bet Show. As always, done better live. You can see the smoothie that Austin is drinking. You can just feel the energy in the room. How you feeling? That smoothie looks damn good. I'm not gonna lie.
It's damn good, man. Have to get the greens this morning. We got a great day of a horrendous football game. But dude, you told me last week the bad ones somehow they cash bets. They really do. You know, the ugly games somehow cash bets. We have a few spots we like. We're still waiting for some lines. So I'm excited, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. There was a small hockey slate yesterday, bigger slate today. And to even out the bad NFL game, having a side sport on is great. It sucks that there's not a lot of basketball games on, but I don't think this game is gonna be that bad. I think it's gonna be ugly, but I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be like a one-score game, maybe like two-score game at most. I don't think it's gonna be one of those Chiefs Bears games where it's like 40-10 or Chiefs Broncos games. So I think we should have some props hitting. And again, these ugly games, you get a lot of low lines, and sometimes those low lines are juicy. So I'll talk about what I posted already. It's Hayden Hurst on a low line of 15.5 receiving yards. He's hit it in 5 of 8 games. The Bears are just one of the best teams to target versus tight ends. Every single week a tight end has covered this besides the Broncos, which I had to look up who their tight end even was because it's one of those things where they just don't go to their tight end. They don't have a good tight end. So for them to miss that week, I don't really care to me. But I love Hayden Hurst at anywhere under 20 yards, honestly. What are your thoughts on Hayden Hurst? Are you touching him or are you liking it but not fully committing?
Liking it. I'm gonna only play 1 or 2 props for this slate. I've already locked in the quarterback for that game, Bryce Young. But I like the spot. I think Young's gonna have to pass a ton, so that fits really well for Hayden Hurst, obviously. And I think he's the type of guy where we see it all the time with tight ends. One catch can cash a line, especially these low 15.5, like the teen numbers. I really like targeting for tight ends because one 18-yard grab across the middle and you're covered, and you don't even have to worry about it, sweat free. So I like the spot. He's playing a large amount of snaps too. So line that low, you really can't complain.
Yeah, no, and his receptions line is 2.5. So at plus money, plus 120. So they're expecting 2 catches. You can't get 15.5 on 2 catches and you average 10. Of course, versus the best target, we got bigger problems.
Right.
This guy said, you got any psycho lotto bets for today? Hurst 50 plus, probably not 50 plus. There is another leg of 25 plus that would probably be the target there. You said you think Bryce Young's have to pass a lot. Do you like his pass attempts in this game?
Yeah, I've done it. I've been a broken record on this all year. I play the pass attempts for the underdog in this primetime event, and Young every single game this year has thrown over 31 pass attempts. So the line's at 32.5. You're going to have a chance. Bears are tied for 7th for the most pass attempts in the league, averaging 36 per game. So I like that there a ton as well. And Young's covered this line in 6 of 8 games. So obviously they get down and then they're forced to pass. And I like it because they're not going to pull him. Bryce Young's going to stay in. It should honestly stay closer this game, I think. But yeah, they're not going to be able to run the ball a ton. They're going to have to pass the ball. They're playing from behind, and there's so many ways this can go over. I like his pass completions as well. I think that's another pivot you could do if you don't like the attempts. But I think it's a smart line right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm all over his attempts. I think his completions too. I think you can't go wrong with both. So I think they're gonna be passing from behind. This Bears team is a little bit better. The Panthers team is banged up defensively. But I think teams just run the ball so much versus the Panthers that I'm actually leaning towards some Bears under props. Like Cole Kmet, I was looking at his under yards because the Panthers are one of the worst targets to tight ends. And if they're winning late, he's probably not catching a ball late in the game. If they're too busy running the ball over everybody, it's going to be, a lot of time goes away, a lot of less attempts from his side. At least the Bears offense, a lot more runs. I think they're going to do a lot of run on 1st and 2nd down, try to convert that 3rd and short, and they probably will have success on that all game long. So from them, I like that. This guy said, would you like his under on Chuba rush yards? I do like the under on his rush yards. I love his over receiving yards. I'm debating on playing that. This guy said Tyson Bagent interception. Do you like that, Austin?
He's thrown one in every start so far. Like it's minus 155, I believe, on books, so it's pretty juiced. If you can get a better price, I think I'd play it more. I honestly I like Tyson Bagent. I think he's a solid quarterback for what it's worth, for what he's supposed to do. He's overachieved what we thought he would do. You know what I mean? So I've kind of been eyeing his fantasy score if you're playing any daily fantasy sports. I think at 12.5, it's just a really low line where if he gets a passing touchdown and only throws one pick, he's probably going to cover it. But there's so many uncertainties. This Bears game is really challenging for me. And I honestly don't have a sharp, for sure play right now. I'm still trying to find that out.
No, it's an ugly one for sure. And this game may be better for some live props. See how the first quarter goes, and maybe you can find some mess ups on there. This guy said you're running any field goal props. Listen, it's Pope Catholic. I'm playing Eddie Pinero over 5.5 kicking points. I sent it to Dub Club already. We'll be coming out to Twitter very shortly after this episode. But if you want to get that in now, I got it at minus 115 on Bet365. Talking about the kickers, 14 of the 18 kickers have gone over 5.5 kicking points. And most of the misses, I think 3 of the 4 misses were due to blowouts. To where it was the Chiefs were up by 25 versus the Broncos and they had to go for touchdowns. This 3.5 point spread could be fairly close. I think the Bears do dominate a little bit and maybe are up 10, maybe 7, maybe 13, somewhere along those lines. But for me, I'm all over any sort of kicking prop on Thursdays. That's going to be all I'm confident in this game probably is those Thursdays low-scoring chip shot field goal type games, but it's tough. I think Bears unders and Panthers overs in the receiving game is probably the way most people see this game script going. Austin, do you like anything Bagent in general?
Yeah, the Bagent fantasy score, I don't have a direct prop. His passing yards are meh to me because I think they lead the game, so it's super tough because they could just run all over. You know what I mean? I think this game's challenging too because they have so many guys like Roschon Johnson and Donta Foreman, and they have all these different guys that are all projected low lines, and it's some of them are going to cash, obviously, but some of them are that low for a reason. You know what I mean? And so it's hard to pick which guys are going to actually be utilized in this matchup, especially with both these teams.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's going to be – this guy said Bagent rushing yards. He did run a lot last week. The problem is this Panthers team doesn't really pressure the quarterback that well. So will he be forced to use his legs? I don't know.
And they were trailing with it was a shootout type game with the Chargers and the Saints, I believe. So.
And the Saints were allowing it to happen. I won't know until the first drive or two. You know what I mean? It's I'm not going to go in there. I think this game has so much low lines, though. And this could be one of those weird Thursday games that just both defenses just don't show up and we just see a bunch of points in just a sloppy defensive game. But
that'd be awesome.
I wish I could hop on every week and say, I found the biggest lock of the century. But there are some games that are just stinkers for Thursday games. And that's unfortunately what we have right now. I'm tempted to do Komet under receiving yards. I really am. To me, his number is his receptions to over is 3.5, super juiced. So they expect 4 catches, maybe 3. And to me, this Panthers team is the 3rd worst to tight ends, sometimes even 2nd worst, depending on which kind of variable you're using, whether it's targets, receptions, or receiving yards. And like I said, I think they'll be too busy running the ball down the Panthers' throats that they're going to be worried about throwing the ball. So to me, I don't think anyone's hitting one of those crazy lottos 100+ receiving yards in this game.
Right. I don't think there'll be enough yards to go around for that. I agree. I think my only fear of that play is obviously complete different matchups, but Cole Kmet led them in targets the last 2 weeks, 8 and 10. You know what I mean? So Bagent clearly likes that, and you see that with young quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Obviously, the safer target across the middle, or the short checkdowns and stuff like that. So I think that's the only fear is, if if you take an under at 33.5 or 35.5, 8 targets is a pretty hefty amount of targets. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it
but to
definitely could
combat
still
that,
go under, but
they were trailing too, so it's kind of like
exactly.
I
Game
probably
script.
expect 6 targets. I think 6 targets is a fair number. I think you'll have 4 catches for 6 targets. Is
Yeah, fair.
my guess, and it's just where the yardage comes for me. Another guy to do would be DJ Moore. Everyone's loving the revenge game, but to me, it's looking like an under season for me in that spot as well. Is there anything you like on like rush attempts, or are you still just staying back and just saying I may only have 2 plays out max, and we'll move on to Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, right now I got the Bryce Young pass attempts as an official play posted, but that's it. I'm gonna keep crunching. I'm trying to find something else, man. I like to have one on each side just to have some stake in the fight. But right now, man, I'm honestly right in the middle. Like I've seen some Foreman under rush yards. I've seen some of those, especially after what we saw from Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss last week. But I mean, I can't really trust the Panthers' run defense personally. Like I don't, you know what I mean? So it's hard to really play that under. I'm very like 50-50 on a lot of these props, and that's typically ones I don't want to play, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, people are going to want to bet this game regardless. Me and Alex Caruso will have our SGP with the Caesars boost as well. And I may do a fun lotto just to do it on Bet365 as well as also doing a 50 plus. I agree. I say this a lot. Austin hates when I say stuff like this, but I agree. It's going to be like 13-10 or it's going to be like 31-27. And it's not,
Yeah,
I
but
don't see
that's such a wide. I hate when people say that because
I
it's like,
know you do.
what is it gonna? Oh, it's gonna finish 20-17 right in the middle of that. It's like, oh, come on. I mean, it's either gonna be a shootout, or it's gonna be a shit game. There's never in between.
Sometimes there's in between. This is a good one. Panthers over 17.5 total points. I'd say probably no. I think 17 is a good spot where this team ends. Probably maybe 13, and they're trying to find a touchdown late with 2 field goals and a touchdown. I just don't trust this Panthers offense too much for my liking. But Austin, you could answer that if you want.
I'd say no as well. I got a maintenance guy here doing some freaking thing with the drill. So if you hear that, that's kind of what it is. But yeah, I wouldn't touch that.
No, yeah, I agree. And listen, we talked about a lot of props. Stay tuned on our pages for more. I'm on Panero kicking points. I'm on Hurst over. Austin's on Young pass attempts, and I might do some Bears under. So stay tuned for that. But as always, best of luck on your bets today. We'll have a better show on Sunday with a lot more games to choose from and actual stuff to talk about. We'll get through the Thursday game together. Hopefully we can hit our plays and our parlays. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.